Hey guys, Goldstein here with the warriors of the IDF at the warm corner known as the Pinah Hama at the Gush Junction. Statistically speaking, one of the most dangerous junctions in the country. We are here today to show our support to these brave warriors and to introduce you to these incredible volunteers at this warm corner. Hey guys, Goldstein here with the Judean Roundtable at the Pinah Hama at the Gush Junction. This is a warm corner, literally translated, for the IDF's combat warriors that are in this area protecting Israel and Gush Etzion from terrorism 24 hours a day. And I wanted to introduce the area itself and the reason why we're here. I'm here with Gedaliah, Blum. I'm here with Josh, Hasten. Dan, Kaskel came all the way from the United States. He is an amazing supporter of the Roundtable. We wanted to thank you for coming. And of course, Abelow, we are all here together as one to talk about the Pinah Hama, the warm corner for soldiers, and current topics in Israel right now.
So you want to talk about, let's start with the Pinah Hama, just to give you an introduction where we are. So again, this is a relatively new phenomenon, these warm corners for soldiers. They're popping up now all over the place, especially in Judea and Samaria, and it really gives soldiers time to take a break basically from their active duty, to come in here, to have a cup of coffee, to have a warm cup of soup. I mean, I would encourage people right off the bat, if you want to get involved in the Pinah Hama, you can do that through the Gush Etzion Foundation. You can contact me. You can go on the Gush Etzion Foundation website. I'm wearing two hats here: Judean Roundtable, Gush Etzion Foundation.
You're wearing two kippahs.
And it's just a beautiful concept. Again, these are popping up all over the place. Just to say thank you to our IDF soldiers. That's really what it is.
I think you completely missed the point of the Pinah Hama.
Did I? If I didn't hit it, I don't know what it is.
I think you did. I think when you walk into the Pinah Hama, that's exactly what you see, exactly what you saw. But the real reason why the Pinah Hama exists is what you don't see. You don't see the parents of these soldiers who are 3 hours away, who can't send their kid dinner, while the people who live here have their kid in the other neighborhood. It's a parent-child swap. That's what it is. Because these are all our kids. This isn't about having a place for a soldier to have a cup of coffee. No, it's not for the soldiers. It's for the parents to know that their kids are taken care of every single day when they need it.
So let me tell you this: when I'm a soldier, when I'm a soldier, and I was just in my reserve duty a month ago. Tuesdays not only is falafel day. Tuesday is the day when a woman by the name of Abelow comes in and volunteers behind there, who happens to be my mother. So when I'm a soldier and I happen to be in this area, I try my best to get a break of a few minutes and come in here and just walk in as one of the soldiers and then just surprise my mother and allow her to pamper me as the mother volunteer.
And you were probably the most popular soldier in your unit, because
I wouldn't say that, but no. But so that's the volunteering of the women behind the counter. And here we have people visiting who are coming and checking out this beautiful place. But then my wife's on the list of baking goods once a month. There's a whole calendar of women and possibly men as well. We are equal opportunity. That they bake all the goods.
Kids for their bar mitzvahs.
The reason why I think that it's more the women volunteer is because of what I said about the maternal kind of taking care of our children.
Well, I think we can all agree this exemplifies unity in Israel.
Yeah.
Even though these are all strangers, including the tourists coming behind. And I see people walking around on Fridays right before Shabbat just handing out chocolate chip cookies that they home baked, which, by the way, is interesting. All of the stuff here, more or less, as far as I know, is home baked. So people go out of their way to bake goods for our warriors, because we are Am Echad, we're one nation, one family, and these soldiers are our sons and daughters.
Made with love.
So they've been published. When did the Pinah Hama here in Gush Etzion
start? This Pinah Hama, unfortunately, the reason it was founded in 2001 when two of our residents were murdered on the roads here, just several weeks apart. And this was founded by their wives, by their families, in their memories. And Tzachi Sasson was one of them, and Dr. Gillis, Dr. Shlomo Gillis.
What year was it?
They were in 2001. Both of them were murdered.
The height of the second
Shmuel Gillis, sorry. were murdered, and Tachas Hassan were murdered in the area, one on the road, on the tunnel road, in between the two tunnels on the bridge, and one of them here in this area. So it took, unfortunately, it was that tragedy, though, but which inspired their wives to continue their legacy and the legacy of the Jewish people, which is to give back to their communities. And that's why it was founded in 2001. But as a result of this one being founded, you now have one in Tekoa. You have one in Mitzuot Yitzchak here by Gavna, just down the road in the area of Bataim. And you have one in
Samaria.
They're everywhere. They have the one inside the block. They just have a food truck. They outfitted a bus as a food truck because they couldn't get the permits to actually lay a foundation in the ground. So they did that.
So I want to take you guys a step back for a second, though, because ready for this? Before the so-called Oslo peace process that really only brought more war and violence and no peace, before then, there was no need for these warm corners across Judea and Samaria. Life in Judea and Samaria was relatively safe. Every once in a while, they were just stone throwings. I remember the original Pinach Hama, which is like the only Pinach Hama that existed in Israel.
In your house?
Which was on at the Good Fence on the Israeli-Lebanon border. The Pinach Hama at the time was called Doda Mary. That was the Aunt Mary. That was her name. I guess her name was Mary, right? And she had a stand like this at the border. And the Good Fence was where soldiers, we used to guard it. And that's when Israel was in southern Lebanon. So southern Lebanon was protected. The southern Lebanese were protected. Northern Israel was protected. And it was called the Good Fence because there was peaceful time between Lebanon and Israel because we were in Lebanon. And anytime we used to go into Lebanon, again, this is back in the early 90s, we used to stop at Doda Mary and get pampered.
Was there really a Doda Mary?
It was Doda Mary. We used to call her Mary. I have no clue if her name was Mary. We used to call her Mary. That's how she used to be called, Doda Mary. But back then, it's hard to understand. There was no need. Forget about not being these places across Judea and Samaria. There was no need because life was safer for Jews and Arabs in Judea and Samaria before the world and the left pushed this false peace process upon us that just brought more violence and war. And now we have many soldiers here, and now we have these places to help pamper the soldiers because they're doing so much work.
And other communities have these spots as well for other reasons. It's of course to help the soldiers with what they need, but it's also these smaller communities between here and Hebron, for instance. They create these smaller Pinach Hamot, let's call it, these warm corners, so the soldiers will come in at night and provide extra security as they're coming in.
It's like the Dunkin' Donuts giving free donuts to the cops.
Exactly.
To show their presence, come inside.
For everyone.
What's going on in Boca right now? In Boca Raton, do you have a Pinach Hama?
We don't. I think there's one thing built, but the permits are an issue. so we made
so maybe you should outfit a bus.
We made you a truck.
By the way, all the equipment we're using today is all due to this gentleman right here. We just wanted to say thank you publicly to the whole world. We're going to say L'chaim to Dan on the whiskey he brought.
Dan the man.
On water.
All right.
Holy water. It's actually Ben's holy water.
It's Ben's holy water?
Now it's really holy.
But it really is a pleasure to be here. You should know that I learned in America, we learned so much from the Judean Roundtable. It's incredible. You are bringing information, much needed information to Americans, people overseas. I'm sure people in Israel as well, that we can't get anywhere else.
Thank you.
And it's outstanding.
You know, it's interesting. Our conversation we had yesterday, if anybody saw, I posted a picture of us smoking a cigar. We had some cigar and bourbon. It was really nice.
By the way, for my insurance agent, that's the first time I had a cigar ever. I don't love it. It'll be the last time.
Clearly a lawyer.
He's the guy in insurance here.
He's a lawyer.
It looked like you picked up somebody else's cigar off that ashtray, so it wasn't even yours.
I actually do a double cigar. I said, for the picture, you can take it. No, but what I said,
I didn't care for it.
What we're talking about is where you were sharing this video into different groups. He's saying why don't you tell everybody like where you're sharing our videos to?
Sure.
So
look, in reality, I'm a moderate. I'm not far right, but I'm certainly not far left.
So you're in good company because we're all moderates.
Yeah.
We all want peace. I mean, that's where
we all want respect.
Sorry to interrupt.
We all want respect.
That's true. Also.
Peace will come with respect.
Amen. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, that's fine. It's okay. It just seems like a lot of my friends, a lot of my contacts on Facebook mostly are right of center, which I'm a little bit right of center, but on many respects I'm left of center. So I joined many Jewish left left-wing, more leaning left groups. And I did that to engage in conversation. And I've had phenomenal conversations with my friends on the left because I share many values with them. But I want them to see what my values are vis-a-vis Israel. So vis-a-vis Israel, I think my values are right of center, and many other social issues are left of center. And surprisingly, many other people that consider themselves liberal, American liberal Jews, when I post things, there is definitely some negative
discomfort,
some pushback, but there's a lot of positive feedback as well.
But it's a good point that he's saying, because we preach to the choir in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
And because of people like you, Dan, all over the world, and people can replicate exactly what you're doing, when you share what we're saying in other news sources as well about Israel that are truthful, logical, and that make sense to people, to those that aren't necessarily a part of our choir already, then we can help to change the hearts and minds of those that need it.
And I want to add to that. I'll tell you what it is. What the problem is that what it means to be left has been hijacked. And I tell people this all the time. I mean, you guys probably don't even know this. I actually have a master's degree in social work. Okay, that's my background. That's where I come from, because I wanted to try to do good for society and good for the world.
You do good society.
Thank you. But, as a social worker, I'm not practicing right now, but going into that field, you have a lot of so-called, do-gooders or left-wing individuals. But again, that word has been hijacked, because living here in Judea and Samaria, I am a believer in human rights and, the rights of minorities and the rights of everybody.
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. Yes. And that's really what the left wing is. So while those who argue and bring me on, ILTV as the token right-winger, or always, want the right-wing opinion or the settler opinion, coming from the world of social work, trying to do good for society and caring about human rights. I mean, that's the world that I come from. Unfortunately, it's been hijacked.
The line that I use is a true liberal supports Israel and is a huge supporter of Israel.
Yeah.
Because Israel is the country that stands up for equality, freedom, human rights for all, which is what true liberals believe in. And people who use the words left today,
so funny.
they've fallen off the wagon of what the true value system is.
I posted yesterday on Facebook. I'm over here, right? I posted on Facebook yesterday.
Either one.
You're talking to us.
I went to Ammunition Hill. I had a few hours. I wanted to do something in Houston. Went to Ammunition Hill. Happens to be they were installing soldiers. They finished basic training and they were joining the IDF. Among those that were in charge of the different platoons, I'm not sure what it's called, the groups of 30 and 40, 50, and there were several of them. Almost all of them were women. And among them were mostly women of color. So I posted, while in America we have a women's march that somehow has become an anti-Israel comfort zone, anti-Semitic platform, and I'm not sure how that happened. In Israel, the women are leading battalions, they're leading groups, and I was just so proud to be here and watch that. And they were women of color. They were mostly women of color that were in charge of each platoon, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And that's a tied in, because what we're seeing, what you were mentioning before about the flip, the upside down, everything's like the liberal became not liberal, they become fascist.
Yeah.
Because I think that their worldview is not about equal opportunity, it's about equal outcomes.
That's a good point.
They want equal outcomes, so that's what they look at things on the surface, like you are black or you're white and you have this and you don't have this, you don't have this, and therefore it must not be fair. People have to pay their fair share. People have to do their fair. Everything's about being fair. But they're talking about fair outcomes. Israel is a place of equal opportunity. We have Arabs who are Arabs, of color, of minority. They're people who are quote unquote oppressed and discriminated against. They have a better opportunity going to medical school in Israel than a Jew because of what do they call it?
Opportunity?
No,
because they have
affirmative action. There's affirmative action. There's also Arab MKs, of course, and there's Arab, Supreme Court justices. So we're the only place in the Middle East that has equal opportunity. We don't have equal outcomes because that's not the way a liberal democracy works. That's the way socialism works. That's the way communism works.
Just stepping outside of the Gush Junction, right where we are sitting right now, if you want to talk about equal opportunity, even what I consider to be Fakistinians, which I don't use the P word too often, even the Arabs who live in Judea and Samaria, you can see the quality of life they have here is at least upwards of 90% above anywhere else in the Middle East.
The Land Rovers, the BMWs,
by the
mansions.
hundreds.
I could easily, you know what I'm going to do? Here's the thing. Bli Nader, I'm going to do a video. I was actually thinking about it on the way here. Doing like you remember the Lifestyles of Rich and Famous? What was his name?
Yeah.
What's
Robin
his name?
Leach.
Robin Leach, Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
Driving through
We
Judean
should do like
Samaria.
Moshe Levy, Lifestyles of the Rich and Palestinian.
I was showing Dan
and
on
we
the way
need to
here.
show the cars. You did an
I did a
amazing
great video on that,
but
right.
the homes here
Right.
are
phenomenal.
Right, and to point out, to tell your leftist friends, there are refugee camps. And these refugee camps have been under the control of the Palestinian Authority since 1995, and they haven't done anything to help their own people.
Where are they refugees
get out
from?
of the refugee camp. Not only that, Israel, years ago, built housing to assist the Arabs in those horrible refugee camps, and the Arab world had the United Nations pressure Israel to stop the building projects because they use their own people as pawns in a war to destroy Israel. So if you really care about these poor people living in refugee camps, then get Israel to do what is necessary to get rid of the Palestinian Authority and Hamas and the terror so we can help those Arabs to have better lives because their own leadership is not doing it.
And today, the word is UNRWA. They're the ones who are responsible for a lot of these so-called refugee camps, perpetuating the conflict from
5
generation
million
to generation.
refugees.
Yeah, they're the ones who are keeping there in squalor. I'm actually writing about this right now, the fact that in Jerusalem, there is a refugee camp, as it's known, under UNRWA, a 12-minute train ride from the center of the town of Jerusalem, and they're called Shuafat, which is being run by UNRWA. And the people there are being educated that the solution, if you will, is in their mind, equivalent to the final solution is a world without the state of Israel, without the Jewish people, and that's what they're being taught under the auspices of UNRWA.
Right, the United Nations.
Article to be coming soon.
But just so everyone knows, the UN has one organization for world refugees, and one organization solely for Palestinian refugees.
Not only that,
children
the
and
one,
grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
the UN Agency for
status.
World Refugees, its mandate is to resettle those world refugees, as opposed to the mandate of UNRWA dealing only with the refugees of the Jewish-Arab conflict. For them, it's to perpetuate the conflict and perpetuate the refugee status from generation to generation.
Well, let's be clear.
It's a shame.
It's a $1 trillion industry, and if they actually if they create a solution to their problem,
They'd be out of job.
they would be out of a job.
Many jobs would be lost.
Let's flip the coin a little bit. Let's go from the micro to the macro. Right? We were discussing what's going on today in Syria.
Let's go.
Okay, what's going on in Syria today? Wrap it up. What's going on in 30 seconds?
What's
Give
going
us
on?
war. Give us the
Syria.
conflict within Syria.
Iran is trying to strengthen its presence in Syria. Israel has told the world countless of times, and it used to do things secretly, and it's now doing things out in the open, which is a very positive change in my mind. Stopping Iran's strengthening its presence in Syria, whether it's with forces, whether it's with rocket launchers, whether it's with anything. So just today, was it just today? Today, yesterday, 2 days ago, Syria has shot some rockets into Israel, even over the Hermon, over the skiers of the Hermon.
Did you see that
and
video?
In response,
That's the video of the year.
you put it on-
yeah.
you put it on
I put it on
Israel
Israel
Unwired.
Unwired. Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Video
You
of
see
the
people
year.
skiing down the Hermon, beautiful Switzerland-like ski resort, and all of a sudden you see Israel's anti-rocket launchers shoot 2 rockets in the air, shooting
You know what's
I can
amazing
watch
about
that.
that? You know what's incredible about this? Anywhere else in the world,
Right.
if you go to Park City, Utah, and you fire a rocket, I'm not saying to do it, over the resort, that resort will be empty forever.
Right.
Israel, the next day, we are all out.
I called up my friend.
We didn't finish. So, and then today, Israel bombed Iranian forces or whatever in Syria, and I think 21 Iranian or Syrian soldiers were killed.
No Russia.
But no clue. No clue. But that's what's going
thing
on.
with the Hermon, with the rocket, that happened to me this past summer. I'm sitting in the Kinneret.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I
was
remember
there. I
that.
experienced the same thing.
I was in the Golan then.
And not one person moved from the pool. We're all sitting around the pool on the shore of the Kinneret. And all of a sudden, I saw a tail of smoke up into the air, a big boom, and Syria had sent over one of these drones into Israeli airspace.
That's right.
And Sfat.
Iran sent over the drone.
Iran via Syria sent over a drone.
I got it.
And this female soldier sitting at her control desk somewhere in Sfat in the north hits a button, shoots the thing out of the sky. We hear this huge explosion. People literally tanning, look up for a second and go back down. And I'm like checking my phone, going crazy, what's going on, this and that.
It's like in the morning you want to laugh and cry at the same time. Like
within minutes, the soldiers were at the Kinneret and helicopters trying to find this drone to see if there's any intelligence information they can recover it. But the Kinneret, was business as usual.
Like the Pinach
The
Hama
windsurfers were in the water. Everything was.
This was created based on the sadness of Arab terrorism murdering our people. So goodness forever comes out of it.
Right.
That shows, once again, all of these stories shows the resilience and the beauty of the nation of Israel.
It's crazy.
You in the middle. What do you want to say?
Yeah. So the story about the ski resort and how it closed down. I called up my friend, and I said, "You won't believe what happened. It's been snowing for like 2 weeks straight in the Carmon. The sky opens up. It's beautiful skiing conditions, but they closed the ski resort today. What happened? What did it get too hot? The snow's melting? He lives in America. Like, why else? It snowed for 2 weeks, right? And it closed the next day. Why would it close?
But the funny
only
thing
in
is,
Israel.
after the rockets were fired,
just for one day.
it remained open.
For one day.
Everyone there.
Well, what are people going to do? Hysteria and run in? What are they going to do?
No.
They bounce back and they continue living.
Well, we're also
the next day they closed it. The next day they closed it because the army, just for one day, because the army has to do stuff.
No, that's not why they closed it.
Too much snow.
No, they closed it because we went back in there. We went back in there and did 5 hours of sorties.
Right, so they didn't want 5
hours
coming back,
and they didn't know what was going to happen. So better people are in one place.
Yeah, but Gedaliah, let me ask you. We discussed this in the past. What's the real background here? Who are the major players in this conflict?
Yeah, so I have a theory, and we spoke about this before. I spoke about it with a couple of you. Is that what we're seeing today is the residual effects of the Cold War that never really ended between America and Russia, meaning the West and the non-West, right? And there's 3 different parts of this struggle of global of power between the West, the Russians, and the Islamists, right? Forget the Islamists. We're talking about the Russians and the West. Now, who are fighting the proxy wars for the West, right? The battlegrounds in the Middle East, right? So the Russians got the Iranians, and America's got Israel. And the battlefield today, right now, is in Syria.
And the Iranians have the Syrians.
And the Iranians, no. The Iranians, no. The Russians have the Iranians.
And the Iranians have the Syrians.
No, the Syrians are just the playing field. They have no power. Assad has no power. He's been decimated. The only reason why he's still in power right now is because of the Russians. Period.
You know what I have to say, just real quickly? I have absolutely nothing to add to this conversation. And I'll tell you why. Because my ADD is kicking in big time. And we're sitting here in the Pinach Hama. And as you were watching this video and hearing these guys who know what they're talking about Syria and Iran and Lebanon and the U.S. and Russia or whatnot, I'm seeing volunteers here from America. I don't know where these good people are from. New York? You guys are from New York? New Jersey. I knew it was New York, New Jersey.
We're in New Jersey.
Lakewood.
East Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay.
They're here doing some kind of project for the soldiers. They're here right now. You can't see them, they're behind camera, but there's a family here, a big family with guides and whatnot, who are shalom, from East Brunswick. They're here doing some kind of project. I see that the girls are behind the counter volunteering for the Pinach Hama for the soldiers. I see soldiers themselves walking in on Tuesday, Falafel Tuesday here, the Pinach Hama, and I see all these wonderful things going on. At the end of the day, and I'm not trying to downplay anything that you guys are talking about Israel's safety and security on our northern border, which is our most strategic threat right now with Hezbollah, which is an Iranian proxy, with thousands of rockets aimed at Israel. We just had one over the Haman the other day. At the end of the day, I'm here just chilling with the whiskey, thanks to Dan.
Empty whiskey.
Empty whiskey.
That's a great point, Josh.
In complete confidence,
What, the emptiness?
with no concern on my mind. I'm not a soldier, so obviously they have the concern. But the fact that we're here today in Gush Junction and seeing the soldiers walk in and the girls behind the counter volunteering and drinking the slushies, and they're working on some kind of project over there. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something for the soldiers.
multiple charging stations.
Charging station like delivery of Pinach Hama. So no offense to you guys in this whole discussion,
good way to finish
but
up,
I
'cause we have to
don't
go
have
to
any
the
way
end
to
of that.
add more.
It's a good point, though.
It's just on my mind.
A little
seeing
north of
this
here.
unbelievable thing happening right in our presence. They're setting up right now the charging stations for the soldiers.
North of here,
Sorry to
700,000
interrupt.
people have been murdered by their own. We're talking Syria.
Yeah.
Whereas, what are we, 150 miles away? You would never know.
Right. And by the way, this is the third group that's been in here in the last hour. 2 other groups from Long Island, and now a group from East Brunswick.
Right, and even though you haven't seen as many soldiers, don't worry.
There
They
are,
come.
because
They're always coming in.
They told me this is not the hour
Yeah.
that they come normally because it's like not here, not there.
It's
Right.
between
But again,
shifts.
A lot were here for the
and-
falafel guy. When the falafel guy was here, there were a lot
Right,
of
and I'll do it again. I'll give a shameless plug. I'll put on the other hat. If you want to get involved in Pinach Hama, go to the Gush Junction Foundation's website.
the link on the screen.
I'll put a link on the screen for you guys to do it. I don't get a cut of this, all right? I don't, I'm not getting any out of this other than telling you the fact that this Pinach Hama and all the Pinot Hamot exist here in Israel, and the soldiers come in here, and it's much needed, as you said, and I'm glad you added it. While their parents are 3-4 hours away in different parts of the country, they're taken care of, and they know when they come to Gush Junction. They know when they say these, the settlers have this horrible reputation. They know when they come to Gush Junction, and they'll remember.
They feel
When I
the
was
love.
in Gush Junction, I hear it all the time now from people doing Miluim and soldiers later in life. I remember Gush Junction. That's where I was a soldier, and that's where I was treated unbelievably
They
by
love
the
the people
residents
here.
here. So thank you guys for coming,
Absolutely.
all the visitors here, and sorry to interrupt this.
No, we got
highly intellectual discussion on Iran and Syria.
Don't worry,
I totally
that's
blew
going to be
it,
around for more
but-
weeks. It's not
sorry,
going around. It's not
it's
going around.
ADD. I apologize.
Let's
but-
wrap it up.
Like, don't like?
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap everything. We're gonna wrap things up now. We're gonna close things down, but everybody has their own live and experience or whatever. And
Can
things that-
Dan go first? Because I really
Yeah.
want to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Wait. One second. So we're gonna wrap things up right now. We're gonna maybe get personal, whatever you want.
right.
Things that you like, things that you don't like. What happened today? Really quickly, lightning round.
I think Dan, who again, I can't stress enough how important it is that he's gotten involved in this project. Without him, we wouldn't have these high-tech cameras and equipment. So Dan, I thank you so much for coming all the way
But
from
also on
Boca,
top of that,
Boca,
just
from
the fact
Boca.
that you share what we do
Right.
is an example for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Believe me, it's my
For sure.
pleasure. I think it's important information to get out there. And this week has been outstanding. I've met personally friends that I've had online for a couple of years. To meet them in person, all you gentlemen, is phenomenal. To spend the week with my kids who are both learning in Beit Shemesh and seminary and yeshiva has been outstanding. It's been one of the best weeks of my life.
Awesome. That's
great.
Thank you guys.
That's what you like. What about
something
what
that you don't like?
You guys sometimes rub me the wrong way. No. Look, I'm in Israel. I'm here for a week and a half. What's not to like? Although I don't love, some of the bombs over there, Hermon, but it's been a phenomenal week.
Great. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having
You're
me.
a part of the group.
And guys, settlers,
Yeah.
thank you.
Amen. We're settling land, man. Go. You're
Pioneers,
next.
baby.
Go.
No, I thought it was last. Okay. What's good? I mean, I don't know if you guys. I didn't see the full show from last week. If you touched on Tu B'Shvat. Did you guys touch on Tu
No.
B'Shvat?
No, we
So
didn't go.
we just celebrated yesterday Tu B'Shvat, the so-called Arbor Day, New Year's for trees in Israel. And what's beautiful is that today across the country, it didn't happen yesterday because it's the actual holiday. You have thousands of kids through the Bnei Akiva program in Israel who are planting trees all over the land of Israel from north to south, east to west. And it's a beautiful, beautiful program that Bnei Akiva allows, gives the kids opportunities. I'm sure they weren't so upset that kids around the country got a day off from school, but they're around the country today, literally out in the fields, planting, and down in the south and in the deserts. You talk about making the deserts bloom. Go down to southern Israel and see. You know how many different kinds of carrots they have down there? I just learned you can get a yellow carrot. a
You're
purple
going way
carrot,
over your life.
and a white
You're getting
carrot.
carried away.
Sound like Forrest Gump now.
Right. Forrest Gump. Listen, I'm from Indiana, folks, so we care about
Potatoes.
we care about the farming going on here in the
Coconut
land of Israel.
carrots, hard-boiled carrots.
That's the way
fried
listen, I
carrots.
talk like that for many, many years. I can go back to that accent, but to
Steamed
see
carrots.
Tu B'Shvat in Israel, whether it was the actual day yesterday or today, the kids planting all over the country. It's
beautiful.
The only
Yes.
thing, and a negative, I mean, I guess it's a negative because there's so much traffic on the roads just getting to Jerusalem. So traffic bothers me. But that being said, it just shows you how many Jews have come home. So it's not fully a bad
Amen.
story.
It's a blessing.
But I can't stand sitting in traffic. So if anything we can do to alleviate the traffic in Jerusalem or anywhere else, Let's alleviate the traffic, folks. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know anything about it, but traffic is, that's my negative. If you have to have a negative.
All right,
I'm kind of a positive.
I'm going to start with the negative. My negative is, you probably can't tell, but I am fighting. I'm fighting a terrible migraine right now. Terrible migraine.
This will help.
I usually am in bed at this point. I'm faking it. That's my negative. My positive, and if everybody's listening to me right now, I'm making a public announcement today that we are expecting our 6th child.
Awesome to you and your family. That's beautiful.
Our 6th child. I know, I look like I'm only 20, but I'm really 26.
That's beautiful.
Your wife's a trooper, man.
She felt it kicking this morning.
Oh, wow.
So we're at like...
and you feel it kicking in your migraine.
Maybe that's my migraine. I'm like 6 kids now.
A baby migraine.
Wow.
You know, there was a comedian that says, what it's like having 5 kids. They're like, well, it's like drowning in a pool with 4 kids and then someone handing you another one. So I have another one on top of that.
Good luck, buddy. Wow, amazing.
So just like you're bringing more children into the world, so the positive I'm going to focus on is some people don't know this. I think Israel is the only country in the world that our net population of trees grow year by year by year by year. And the thing I don't like is the world doesn't give Israel credit for giving so much more oxygen to all of humanity.
Startup nation.
We're getting rid of the global warming.
Wait, and Dad, one more thing. I think Israel may be the only nation in the Middle East with the street called Dr. Martin Luther King.
That's
Jr.
right.
That's true.
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
Right.
By
In
the
Jerusalem.
Tachana Rishona,
Right.
the first train station.
Yeah.
Right.
So
true.
Martin Luther King Day.
A huge supporter of Israel.
Huge supporter of Israel. We just celebrated Martin Luther King Day and Tu B'Shvat. They coincided. It happens once every 8,000 years.
What I like is, and I'm going to continue with this theme of children, even though I didn't know you all were expecting, which is amazing. What I love is that all of us here, including you, are right now raising our children in the land of Israel. 75 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago, 300 years ago, a dream for most. For us, it's not only a reality, it's something we almost take for granted.
We can't take it for granted.
And we shouldn't take it for
Can
granted.
you speak a little bit louder for the American volunteers here?
Just the fact that these American volunteers are here with their children. They're showing them, and we spoke about this last week, when you infuse the love of Israel, the truth of Israel, into the DNA of our children, we are concretizing truth, justice, not only for the Jewish nation, but we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Not a lot of the fake tikkun olam that you see with the left, liberal-leaning Jews that like to hide behind their tikkun olam to destroy Israel.
Hijack term.
We're doing tikkun olam where it's supposed to be in the land of Israel. That's what I love. What I despise, what I hate, and I don't hate much, is the continued lies, the continued debasement, the continued vile hatred of this magnificent, open, beautiful land of Israel that I invite you all to come and walk shoulder to shoulder with all of us here at the Judean Roundtable.
Amen.
Amen.